I'll start with a quick review for this book, Burn. I'm gonna give this book 3 out of 5. I think there is some good details in the book, interesting idea about how calories are burnt, metabolic rate. But overall, he has a lot of stories about him being going to the Adsa tribe, something there, that I wasn't a big fan of those stories. And overall, I think it was a little too long. So it was like a mixed bag overall, I would say. Some good information, but overall, not a lot of new stuff. Let's see the notes. Most energy is being emitted as CO2. Most of the energy we consume is just emitted as CO2. Fat is the most efficient way to store energy. That's why we usually gain fat when we gain weight. Our gas per mileage doesn't change with speed. So if we run faster, we don't burn more energy per mileage. The faster we run or swim, the more the drag, which causes more energy expenditures. So what does cause some differences, so it's not the actual gas it takes to move us, it's the drag that could change some things, but it's not major. 10,000 steps only burns about 250 calories. So even if we have the 10,000 steps, it's not a lot of calories. The bigger animals save more energy, and proportional to their size, they burn more. They save more energy. Lean tissue consumes more energy than fat tissue. So gaining muscle is also lowering or spending calories even at rest. Energy expenditures plateaus after the body is habituating to the new exercise routine, causing lower weight loss. That's the main idea of the book, that our metabolic rate and the way the energy is being spent is plateauing. Our body is habituating to the new routine, and our weight loss is plateauing. That happens to a lot of people that start a diet. There is some decrease, but then it plateaus. That's when the body is getting used to it. The body lowers the metabolic rate when it starts consuming itself or in a diet. So at a certain point, the body would lower the metabolic rate, and that's why it's hard to lose a lot of weight. The body is much like a business where a little of scarcity is okay, but it's not sustainable for a long time, and therefore it's hard to lose weight. It's much like a business. If there is scarcity for a long time, it's not sustainable. So the body would lower the metabolic rate, and therefore keep losing weight would be hard. When we starve, the brain has a priority while immunity and reproduction get hit first. So when we are in a deficiency, the brain usually that has a priority, while immunity, which is interesting why immunity get hit in reproduction, which makes more sense. Some native communities eat primarily carbs on some days when they are not able to get a good catch. They would consume mostly carbs. There is no evidence to support that a low carb diet or a high fat diet is effective. None of them is sustainable or efficient in the long term. There is no evidence to support that calories from carbs are worse than from fats, other than the lack of nutrients. The main differences between calories from carbs and fats is just there is less nutrients. It depends what calorie, it depends where and what fats and carbs, but overall there is no much difference. What seems to be important is calorie intake. That's the main idea. If you do want to lose weight, it's just calorie intake. Eat less. But exercising, and again, that's the main idea of the book, exercising is not a way of losing weight because our body would get used to it. It's more about limiting intake. The modern diet is, with its variety and added chemicals, is hijacking our satiating senses. It's harder to get satiated with all the the new diet with added chemicals and the variety. Usually, when we eat the same thing, we get sick of it, and that's natural. But when there is a variety, it's harder to feel satiated. He gives the example of eating a meal, you're full, and then there's dessert, which you always have another stomach for it, as they say. And that's variety comes in play. Active men have lower levels of testosterone. It's an interesting fact. The next one is exercise won't keep you thin, but it would keep you alive. So that's his main point again of the book. Exercise will only keep you thin because you would get used to it, but it would keep you alive. He stressed the fact that we should still exercise because it would keep us alive. It's very important to exercise. The last one, each person in the US consumes about 200,000 calories a day in total energy consumption, which seems a little much to me. So I rewinded and listened again. That's what he says. That sounds like a lot, but what he includes gas for your car, and electricity, water, and so and so. I don't know if it get to a 200,000. That seems excessive, but could be. We do consume a lot of energy besides what we eat. That's it for the notes. Again, there is some good, interesting parts, but overall, there is like not much substantial information in the book.